Hello, my friends. Jill Ortiz here in my Empowered Fitness community for women 40 plus. And today is Wednesday, so I'm here to do our weekly Q&A where I answer all of your burning questions on fat loss and menopause and working out and nutrition and all the stuff. And so I'm happy to answer any questions that come up while we're here, or if you have a question and want to email me, message me, text me, however you like to get in touch. I just want you to have answers. I don't want you banging your head against the wall, not knowing what's going on or what to do about it. I think one of the biggest things that we can do is come together and have community, have accountability. It's something that I really value in my relationships, whether it's with friends keeping me accountable to who I am, or coaches keeping me accountable to my business or to my fitness. And that's what we're here for, is to lift one another. It's so important that we have people supporting us, that we're not feeling alone here doing all the things that we want to accomplish. It makes it a lot easier when we have support. So today I'm going to go over some questions that many of you have asked me this week as you entered this group, and we'll be here for about 30 minutes. And so let's get into it. So we have Francis, and Francis, I messaged you earlier. Let's have a chat. I'm so excited. I've dropped the link here for anybody who wants to set up a one-on-one consultation call with me. I call them game plan calls because I don't want you to feel like you're just coming in and sharing about yourself and not getting any action steps. I want to actually make a plan so that you're moving forward, and I'm happy to be that person who just kind of gives you that little push. And so set up a game plan call with me. Use the link that I've given you. And this will be 45 minutes for you and I to get to know each other. And not everybody is a good fit. I'm not a good fit for everybody. Not everybody is a good fit for me. But it's good to explore, and it's good to actually be heard and to understand what's out there and what your options are. So I want Francis to go ahead, and I let her know. I sent her my calendar link to set up a call. She says that she's been what's holding her back from getting the results that she wants, which is to lose 80 pounds and feel happier and healthier, is that she needs well, actually, she says she doesn't know. She says, I eat healthier and I exercise. She says 2 to 3 times a day. I'm not sure if that's what she means or if she meant 2 to 3 times a week. But she says, I need more of an idea about nutrition. What are foods that are more healthier and help people lose weight? And certainly I think that, and my quick response is, healthy, organic foods, not necessarily organic, but whole foods, right? So whole foods, and that's what I mean by organic, not necessarily like not using pesticides and this and that, but whole foods, not overly processed foods, right? Where we have additives and fat, and we're taking these whole foods and we're making them almost unrecognizable and adding all these different things in so that they, are cheaper, or we can put labels on saying they're less calories or less fat. There's nothing wrong with calories. There's nothing wrong with fat. There's nothing wrong with carbs. So what we want is to have foods that are full of these great things in the right proportion. So what I would suggest is having a whole foods based diet. You think of, a fruit, it grows out of the ground and we pick it and we eat it, or it grows on a tree and we pick it and we eat it. Vegetables, same thing. Things that we think of that are more processed, a lot of the sweets and treats and packaged foods, let's say like a donut, right? What exactly is in it? Why is it shelf stable for so long? What are all these different ingredients, and how are they refining or changing that free state of those ingredients to then make them, into something else? And the more things we add, the harder it is for our bodies to naturally use those foods, take what we need from them, and discard what we don't need. It's hard for our bodies to process them. So the more whole foods that we can have, natural foods in their natural state, without a lot of additives, that's going to be the best foods for us. Then when it comes to weight loss, we have to understand and have some kind of understanding of how much of each of those types of foods is going to be beneficial to us and help us achieve our goals. It's not always less is better for weight loss, because we still have to fuel this body that needs to work for us every day throughout the day. We know that we don't have, endless supplies of energy. We get our energy from our food. So we need to be very cognizant about what we're putting in and how much in order to achieve the goals we need to, and to feel healthy and fueled. Okay, so Stephanie, I'm going to take you with me because my dogs are ringing some bells over here to get let out. Let me grab Stephanie's question, how to eat to support hormones. So that's another really important thing when we are talking about nutrition, is sugar, blood sugar, right? And not overdoing it and not going too long without food and then binging on food, but keeping more of a balanced diet and making sure we're not overdoing it on our sugar levels. So when it comes to menopause, that's going to be especially important with hormonal changes. Is not only to be regulating our blood sugar, but also our gut bacteria changes during states of hormonal change. And so more variety, more balance, right? That's going to all be very helpful as well. And so it's important to start getting an understanding of these things. You might also need some support with foods that upset your stomach as your hormones change. So having something with prebiotics, probiotics, digestive enzymes, things that can help you digest your foods, that can be really helpful as well during this time, okay? Marlene says, why can't I get the weight off? So in order to understand that, what's important to me is that I understand what you're doing, right, for your exercise. What are you eating? How are we doing with stress management, recovery, sleep? All of these things have to be in alignment in order to lose weight. And it's possible that you are a very healthy eater, but there's 3 or 4 other things that are not in alignment, and we have to get all of these things in alignment. So Marlene, I'd love to have a conversation with you personally so we can get into what exactly is going on for you, kind of figure out where those red flags are, and start to make some small corrections so that we know we're doing the right things. And then it's about monitoring, right? We can put a plan into place, but then we have to give it time. We have to be committed to the plan, and then we have to evaluate, right? How is it doing? How is it working? And that's not always going to be like a 1 or 2 day answer. It may not even be a 1 or 2 week answer. We have to really give these things the time, energy, effort to see the results, and then take that as a point of reference for, are we going in the right direction or not? Okay. And this leads me to Lisa's question. Lisa says, how quickly can I lose weight? I'm going on my honeymoon. So congratulations on your wedding, Lisa. And what's interesting is Lisa, what says is holding her back from achieving her goals is motivation. But then she tells me her motivation. It's her honeymoon and feeling confident and amazing on her honeymoon. That is your motivation. Now we just need the plan. We need the understanding. And of course, we don't generally want weight loss to be something that's really quick, because generally, as quick as you can take weight off, you can put it right back on. And so we want to gradually, in general, right? We want to gradually change our plan, change our lifestyle so that we are taking that weight off little by little without having to do so much and change everything drastically and cut things out, because it's way harder to change your life drastically and then maintain that than it is to make small changes that lead you in the right direction over time. But when pressed for time, like when we have a big event coming up, we do have some really great tools. And my tools generally for that are going to come down to nutrition. and manipulating the nutrition so that we can have quick weight loss. Perhaps some of it is water weight. Perhaps it is just having a really solid plan. Perhaps it's low calorie plan, which we can't keep at forever. Otherwise, it's not going to be effective when we want to use it once in a while, right? We don't want our metabolism to slow down. We want to be able to make these quick changes when we need them. But then for the most part, we want to keep our body and our metabolism revved up, right? So if we're going low calorie all the time, number one, we eliminate the effectiveness of a low calorie tool. And then also we can slow down our metabolism, which isn't going to help you in long-term weight loss, right? Because then when you eat a little more, then you're going to be screwed. So, all right, let's move on. Let me check on the puppies too and see if they want to come in. It's hot outside. Okay, let's see. We have Jennifer, and she says motivation and fear that it won't work are holding her back. And she says, why can't I get the weight off and get it to stay off? Now, if motivation is your struggle, Jennifer, then my guess is that maybe you're not staying true to your plan. If you have a plan, maybe you're not staying true to it long enough to get your desired results, because it takes quite a while and consistent effort to get the results that you want from your plan. So that could be one thing. And then we have to just make sure that you are following the appropriate plan, right? So if you're doing the wrong thing and doing that consistently, certainly that's not going to help. My doggies are still happy out there. Let's see, you can see one, and then the other two are over there. All right, let's go back and find another question. This is funny. This doesn't usually happen. My husband went on a business trip earlier today. So everybody needs me. Okay, let's see. Why can't I get the weight off and stay off? And so we need to stay committed, right? We have to stay committed to the goals. And, one thing that I know happens is people freak out if they're not getting the results they want immediately. And I felt that last week. I started a new plan, right? And so I'm lifting very heavy, and you can see I posted one of my workouts from today. Lifting very heavy, really pushing myself, and then doing a little extra cardio, trying to get it in 3 times a week, which has been tough. We've been busy. And so because of all that work I'm doing, I also bumped my calorie intake up. And I think that's scary for many people, right? So I'm now eating 1,750 to 1,800 calories a day. And so you can't expect that the scale is going to do some big drop when you're upping your calories. I was eating about 1,500 before that for a couple weeks. And the scale was going down pretty quickly. And so now for the first week, my weight just completely stayed the same. And then this week, which was kind of funny, last night I made sugar cookies for the kids. They were about that big, and I had 3 of them. And the scale went down a pound. Who knows, right? Who knows? But if the scale starts going up because you're doing something new, you can't be like, oh my gosh, this doesn't work, and freak out, right? If the scale had gone up a pound, you can't freak out. You still got to stay true to the plan for several weeks to know what the true outcome is once it kind of levels out, right? And so too many of us freak out, and we don't follow through on anything long enough to know if it's going to work in the long run, right? Because sometimes our bodies need to kind of like stabilize and figure out what's going on before our true results happen. Now, the crazy thing is sometimes it could take months. It could take a year of you doing the same thing for you to finally see all the little gradual changes add up. But most of us do not stick around that long to find out. That's a huge thing, right? That's a huge reason why people don't get results that they want. All right, let's see. Caroline says she's just not sure where to start on her fitness journey and weight loss. She says, what's the best exercise for someone in menopause? There's 2 best exercises for someone in menopause. I bet you Stephanie could tell you. Hi, Steph. Hi, Maggie. Hi, Katie. Hi, Kathy. So lifting heavy, right? putting strain on your muscles so that you can grow them, so you can add more muscle to your body to create a higher metabolism, a higher calorie burn while you're at rest. And the other thing is walking leisurely, not power walks, leisure walking outside, de-stressing, right? Or yoga, doing things that eliminate your stress. And our movement, general movement, getting your 7,500 steps in a day, that's what I would say is perfect, and doing heavy lifting, okay? So that you can actually change your physique and not just be working off the food that you eat in that day, right? We want you to actually be creating a body that can be changing on its own. That's the key, okay? So best exercise is going to be strength training. Oh, doggies want to come in. Let's get a question going. We've got Mandy who says she's lacking nutrition. She says, how do I lose weight, cut the cravings, and get rid of menopause? I don't know about getting rid of menopause. Eventually you will hit it. So just to make it clear as to what menopause actually is and perimenopause. So you're going to first be in a stage that is called premenopause. This is before you start getting erratic periods while your cycle is still normal, but you might be having some changes, right? Feeling changes in your moods, feeling changes in your body, feeling changes in your energy, your brain fog, right? All that stuff, but you're still having regular periods. The 12 months that leads up, or once you have not had a period for 12 months, because sometimes people have their period and then it goes away for 6 months and then it comes back and then you restart the clock. And for as long as you have not had a period for 12 months, that is your perimenopause. Once you have hit that day when it's been 12 months without a period, then you have hit menopause. From then on out, you're postmenopausal and it doesn't go away, right? It's who you are now. It's like you're a new person for the rest of the time, right? And you now do not have all those female reproductive hormones that you did when you were in your stage of being able to reproduce, right? From when you're 13 and you get your period to when you're somewhere in your 40s, 50s, 60s, who knows? And it's different for everybody, and you no longer have your period. So we cannot get rid of this stage of life, but we can manage it. We have several things that we can do to manage it. Yes, cravings can be one of those things, especially because cravings tend to come on stronger when we are not sleeping well, right? And so if we are not sleeping well due to all these crazy things that happen, hot flashes and just being restless and our minds going crazy, and you're not sleeping well, or you're getting up in the middle of the night to go pee, these things can cause more cravings. Also, if you are trying to undereat because you have gained some weight, that's going to cause you more cravings if you're not getting the nutrients that your body needs, and all kinds of other things if you're cutting out certain food groups. So for cravings, I would say the best things we can do is to fill our day with calories. Fill our day with balanced calories, good whole foods, making sure that our bodies are getting everything we need in a day, that we're eating at good intervals, so we're not waiting until we're starving to eat, keeping that blood sugar regulated. That's going to really help with your cravings. To lose weight, it's going to be understanding what it takes for your body to lose weight, not anybody else's, because everybody is different. And it's going to depend on your current weight. It's going to depend on your activity level. It's going to depend on, we can do some calculations to figure out calorie levels, or we can go by our intuition of how we feel in terms of hunger and energy and cravings. There's several different ways to do nutrition, but all of these places are going to be starting places, right? I can't just magically give you the answer and it works 100%. We have to come up with a starting point, start there, kind of know what we're doing, track it a little bit, and then see what changes we need to make. Every fitness and nutrition professional is going to tell you that same thing, that we need to start, we need to track what we're doing, and then we need to modify and make adjustments based on whether we're achieving the goals we want to and going in the right direction or not. okay? And there's many ways to measure that as well. All right, let's move on. Sherry's dealing with COPD, and walking and exercising is getting hard, or is hard, when it's hot outside for her. She says, I lost the weight a year ago and gained it back when summer hit. I used to walk 5 miles a day, never missing a day. What should I do? So COPD is a chronic pulmonary disorder, where they call it obstructive pulmonary disorder, where there's something, whether it's mucus or fluid or just, inflammation, that's causing you to have a hard time breathing, filling up your lungs. And so I would understand if she's walking outside and it's hot and you're breathing hard, that it can be very hard. And so I would not suggest that Sherry get back to walking. But again, I would suggest that she start taking on some strength training, which is going to be more helpful for her. She can do it inside and crank the AC, and she can do strength training without sweating and getting super, her heart rate rising too much. And that's always funny, because I get clients who will say to me, like, I'm a little worried. I didn't sweat. I didn't get really, hot, and my breathing didn't get really heavy in my workout today. I don't know if I did enough. Should I go for a run or do an elliptical after? And I'm like, no, what you did was good enough. I don't know who set the bar as to we have to have sweat dripping down our face and we have to be all, red faced to show that we did a good workout. This is my hair post-workout. I didn't do anything to my hair today other than put it up and take it back down, because I did not sweat. And you can go back and watch my workout. I put it in our group here. I was working hard. I'm going to get great results. That also doesn't mean you have to be walking 5 miles a day for results. It doesn't mean that you have to be working out for hours. One of my strength training programs is 10 minutes a day for those who are really busy but want to go hard in a short amount of time and get an amazing result. So I would absolutely tell Sherry, let's not get back to that walking 5 miles. Let's start with something inside. Heavy strength training, something that's not going to cause you, to have any issues. I find that this is helpful with so many of my clients who have diabetes, struggling with blood sugar levels, elevating too high or even dropping too low during exercise. I've had clients with tinnitus. I've had clients with fibromyalgia and other autoimmune disorders. And this is absolutely something that works, especially because we can progress you and get you back to that healthy place where you can do more by starting smaller and making gradual changes. If we really wanted to do walking, again, I might get a walking pad inside and crank that AC and have a fan blowing on you and do something at an incline, so that your legs are working and you're getting, more for your time. I'd like to say more for your money, more for your time, but not overdoing it. And, and I remember having a time where I had bronchitis, and I just kept I was like, okay, maybe I'll just go to a spin class and go light. And then I realized I just couldn't go light enough to not feel that pressure in my chest. And so sometimes we have to pull back in order to move forward, okay? All right, next is Vicky. Let me go check on Buddy too. He's still outside. She says that her struggle is that she's got no support. She said, what is the correct nutrition? Everyone says different things. I don't know what to believe. I know that's hard when we see so many different opinions and plans. Oh, Buddy's still out there. And nobody's wrong, right? Everybody's got their own opinions and they're entitled to them, and I'm sure they get people results. What is right is what is right for you and what works for you long term, right? So anything that to you does not work with your lifestyle, that does not work, is not sustainable for you, is too hard, does not bring you joy, those you'll know if something feels wrong and does not feel like a good fit for you. And so it's important to kind of, take a look at different things and listen and figure out, what do you believe in, right? For me, I believe that anything that is restrictive is not for me, because you tell me not to eat something, that's all I want to eat, right? And so I want something that allows me freedom to eat things I love, even if they're not the healthiest things ever. But once in a while, I want to be able to eat them without guilt and shame, without it being a cheat, but something that is just okay. And also, for me, I want to be able to eat enough that I don't feel like, for some reason, I panic when I don't feel like I'm going to eat enough. I stuff so much food in my bag when I leave the house because I'm just have this panic that I might get hungry and not have food on hand. I would be horrible on Survivor. I could never go on Survivor because I'd be afraid of starving to death. And I also want something that, if I don't want to track anymore, if I'm, tracking, let's say, my calories or macros, and I just don't want to do it anymore, I need to have another way to do my nutrition that is just different, so that I don't feel like it's I'm on track or I'm completely off track, on the wagon, off the wagon. That doesn't work for me. I need different options, different ways to do things, so that everything's allowed at different points in time, and that I'm never left feeling like I'm failing at anything, right? And so that's why I personally teach 5 different frameworks for nutrition to my clients, is because I want them to have different ways to do nutrition in case they just don't want to do what they're doing anymore. They just need a new tool, a new set of tools, okay? All right, we've got time for one more question. Otherwise, buddy out there is going to turn into a hot dog and I'm going to start getting hungry. Penny says what she's struggling with is staying with it. This is what I said before. So many women, number one, we're given a plan and we want to change it. And number two, we're given a plan and we don't want to stick to it. Which we need to stick it out, right? And if it's not the right plan, then we need to switch plans and try something else. But we've got to stay with things long enough so that they work, that we get the results that we want, and that we can stick to it for the long term as well. And it isn't a plan that would only work short term. Otherwise, we're just going to rebound right back to where we were. So Penny asks, how do I keep exercising without getting bored and just not wanting to do it? Well, why would you choose a plan that's boring? That's the thing. Like, if my exercise plan was, Jill, go to the gym and get on a treadmill every single day of your life for 30 minutes or 60 minutes, I would not do it. I just wouldn't show up, because that is not something that I would want to be doing, because it's not exciting. And so what you need to do is you need to find something that excites you. Now, people are different, right? And so for me, and my focus for women going through this stage of life where building muscle, building bone mass is really important, and I focus on strength training because I feel like it's the most effective exercise for our time, little time we have, want to make the most of it. I create fitness programs, and they're different every day, and we focus on different body parts, and every week the workouts even change from week to week. Now, I just recently signed up for a program, and I didn't know what it was going to be when I jumped in. It's a 6-week program, but there's only 6 workouts, and we do the same 6 workouts now for the next 6 weeks. And that, for me, I know is going to be more of a struggle, because I get bored too. I want to change. That's why I create programs that are 3 to 4 weeks, and then we change it up completely and we go into a new program. I need to feel like I'm progressing week after week, and then after 3 or 4, when I'm just kind of bored, I need to change my approach. And so that is what I think is really important. Now, not everybody is going to love strength training the way I do with weights. So for some people, they're going to want to go to maybe a studio and do, like I tried a couple weeks ago, some Pilates classes. That's something that I enjoyed for a week, but I would not want to be doing that forever and every day. I after 3 times in 1 week, I was like, okay, this was fun, I'm done. And some people like to go do water aerobics, and some people like to go do Zumba classes, and everybody is different. And again, it's all going to come down to what you can do with consistency, what brings you joy, and what actually gives you results. And so that's going to be the best kind of exercising to make sure it's not boring, is changing things up, right? And so that's what I like to do too, is phase my fitness. And so that's it. All right. So I hope you learned something today. Let me know what you enjoyed. Let me know what you'd like to know more of. If you have any questions yourself, please feel free to comment, respond, reply, and I am happy to answer your questions. And of course, I would love to have a private conversation with you as well. So go ahead and book your call with me. And I appreciate you hanging in there while I had to go tend to the dogs. I should probably go take them for a walk after I have my lunch. And I will see you all soon. So bye.